House Divided is generally a really interesting film. This was released in 2000. It's directed by John Kent Harrison and is written by Paris Qualles, based on the book by Kent Anderson Leslie, with a cast including Sam Waterston, Jennifer Beals, LisaGay Hamilton, Tim Daly, and various others. And it's because of Tim Daly that I became aware of this and wanted to watch this, and in general, I'm glad I had a reason to check it out. After the Civil War, there are obviously a lot of attitudes towards race, and the film focuses primarily on a character called Amanda. And Amanda has come into an inheritance, but she's actually mixed race. And there were questions about her mother, and I won't go into too much detail there. It's not really a spoiler because it's kind of what the film is about, but I will say it does take quite a long time to get there. It's very, very slow to begin with. Not necessarily boring, as there are things to enjoy. Getting to know the characters visually is really nice. It's quite thought-provoking still. But in terms of the narrative pacing and actually getting to some interesting aspects of the story, the initial pacing could be better. But once we get there, it is interesting. It's thought-provoking. As you can imagine, there are a lot of varied opinions on this kind of topic. And I don't know how realistic it is, or if this is how things would play out in reality at the time, but I will say it was easy to buy into. I think that's partly because of the strong character writing and really good performances. They were very believable. Visually, it's great, very easy to feel like we're there as well, which I think it makes it a much more immersive experience. Great costumes and locations, quite a nice soft colour palette. Visually, it is a really pleasant film. The story itself has a lot to offer, a lot of food for thought, and definitely is quite an immersive experience. Some really good dialogue as well. I have absolutely no complaints. Interesting story. I'm not an expert. I don't know how realistic or accurate it is. If anybody has any thoughts on that, please feel free to share. But from my perspective, I thought it worked quite well. The characters are interesting. Visually, it's great. Great camera work and lighting as well. A little slow to begin with. But as I said, because it's visually quite immersive, and the characters are interesting and the performances are great, I didn't mind that so much. The narrative could get to the point a little more quickly, but it's still not a bad film, and up until that point I wasn't bored. So it's not a huge issue, just a little bit of room for improvement. Ultimately, I thought A House Divided was an interesting film. I'm glad I had a reason to check it out, and from my perspective, I'm certainly happy to recommend it.